Well, y'all can take care of the events.
Nobody goes up.
I can't remember this is Antonio. Maybe Allison.
Again, welcome to Chevalier Auditorium. My name is Ken Krause. I'm on the board of directors of the Friends of Chevalier Auditorium and Gene Mack Gym. And I welcome you on behalf of the Friends and thank you for your attendance tonight. This event is part of Arts Across Medford, the 8th annual event sponsored by Cachet, which is the Coalition for Arts, Culture, and a Healthy Economy. We're very excited to be a part of that program, which has boosted the October arts events in Medford to more than 100 events. Can you believe that? We have 100 events going on this month in Medford. There are Arts Across Medford programs in the lobby, so be sure to take one on your way out. And check the website as well, cachetandmedford.org, for all the events happening this month. We're also very grateful that we have this beautiful venue to hold one of these Arts Across Medford events. And we're very grateful to everyone who made that happen, from the people who built this lovely facility in 1940 to the people who made sure it remained a theater when that may not have been the future envisioned for it, and the many people who helped bring it back to its current splendor. Both the Chevalier Commission, Friends of Chevalier, members, and elected officials, both past and present. Speaking of current elected officials, one of our biggest supporters of Chevalier Theater, both as a city councilor and as our current mayor, is Stephanie Muccini-Burke. And I'd like to call Stephanie Burke up and say a few words as well.
Thank you, Ken. Welcome, everyone. I am so excited to be able to kick off this evening in our beautiful Chevalier Theater as part of the Arts Across Medford litany of events that will be taking place this month. And we're just really thrilled to be able to bring Bill Cummings to you to really talk candidly about his life growing up in Medford and how hard work and empathy pays off in the end. And he has done such an amazing job in his business world as well as in his giving back pledge as part of the Melinda Gates and Bill Gates Foundation. He made the pledge before the pledge was cool to make. And he has just stood fast by that with he and his wife Joyce as well. But I'm really thrilled to have so many students from Medford High School, the CCSR program, Center for Citizenship and Social Responsibility, with us here tonight. These young people are our future, and I hope that they walk away tonight with some key elements to what it takes to succeed, and you're already learning what it takes to give back. So I'm really, really proud of you and all the people that came here tonight to listen to Mr. Cummings. And we do have a moderator as well. We have our illustrious mayor, Michael J. McGlynn, who will be moderating this event. So it's really thrilling to have him back on the stage here. And I am sure that we will find this conversation very fruitful. So I welcome them, and I know that Ken has a plan for coming up next. But thank you so much for coming, and I hope you enjoy.
So just a quick word about the format. We are going to have just a real brief introduction with some slides accompanying it, and then Mayor McGlynn, and Mr. Cummings will take the floor and have a conversation for maybe about 40 minutes or so, and then afterward we'll have about 20 minutes for your questions. So there's 2 microphones down on the floor, so jot down questions or think of things you might want to ask through the course of the program, and Mr. Cummings will be happy to answer them. So without further ado, Bill Cummings is widely regarded as one of the most outstanding leaders in the commercial real estate, entrepreneurial, and philanthropic communities, not just in New England, but across the country. And the foundation for his remarkable achievements lies in his Medford roots. Growing up in the Hillside and Haynes Square neighborhoods, Bill learned the value of hard work, kindness, fiscal responsibility, and giving back to the community from his parents, Gus and Dorothy Cummings. They also encouraged young Bill's entrepreneurial nature, be it selling sodas out of his wagon to construction workers paving the Fellsway, or ice cream from his bicycle to laborers at the Ford assembly plant in Somerville. He received all of his formal education in Medford, attending the Curtis and Swan schools, Roberts Junior High School, and Medford High School, receiving his 1954 diploma on this very stage. While in school, he also gained some additional business savvy, working in Medford Square at Brigham's Ice Cream, Rudderman's Furniture, and Medford Square Alleys. Some of you might remember those. Bill then went back to the Hillside into Tufts University, earning a bachelor's degree in business administration in 1958. Not surprisingly, he paid his own tuition. Back then it was about $600 to $1,000 a year. And he raised part of the money by selling Christmas trees next to the old Carol's restaurant on Main Street. After Tufts, he spent the first few years of his professional career on the road, crisscrossing the country selling Vicks Vapor Rub for Vic Chemical and fish products for Gorton's of Gloucester. Then he settled back in Medford and really began his entrepreneurial career in earnest. 1964, at the urging of his father, Cummings purchased the Wilmot H. Simonson Company on Fulton Street. That company made Old Medford Fruit Punch. In just a few years, he built the operation from 2 customers to more than 370. Eventually, he would sell that business, which he bought for $4,000, for close to $1 million. Talk about seeing and seizing an opportunity. But along the way, at Old Medford Fruit Punch, he made a key decision that launched his commercial real estate career. Old Medford Fruit Punch had outgrown the space on Fulton Street, so he purchased a property near Montvale Avenue in Woburn. Soon, in addition to moving Old Medford Fruit Punch, he added another building on the site, which he quickly leased. Then bought an adjacent property and erected another building to lease. Cummings Properties was born. Now, nearly 50 years later, Cummings Properties is one of the most stable and successful commercial real estate firms in the country, with more than 100 buildings in 11 communities north and west of Boston, including Medford, 2,000 leased tenants, and 650 employees. But as his parents, Gus and Dot Cummings, imparted, there is more to life than making money. In 1986, Bill and his wife Joyce decided that they wanted to get back to the greater Boston areas where Cummings Properties was growing, and created what is now one of the largest foundations in New England. Cummings Foundation has awarded more than $220 million in grants to greater Boston nonprofits alone. Its 100K for 100 and sustaining grants programs have supported dozens of Medford organizations and agencies, including, we are so grateful to say, the Friends of Chevalier Auditorium and Gene Mack Gym, and the Medford Boys and Girls Club, which is located downstairs from the theater. It truly is an honor to welcome back home Bill Cummings, Medford High class of 1954, as well as someone who needs no introduction, our moderator, former Mayor Michael McGlennon, for tonight's program on starting small in Medford and making it big. Gentlemen, the stage is yours.
Bill, I read the book. I like the book.
That's a good start.
But I have to admit, I also learned some things from the book that I thought I already knew about the city. I thought I knew everything about the city. So I thank you for writing the book. And we're going to start now with about a half an hour's worth of back and forth on questions that relate to the book and to the family and what I learned in the book. So here we go. Your parents were great role models during a very difficult time in our nation's history, shortly after the Great Depression. They were constantly reminding you and your sister Marion that a penny saved is a penny earned, about the necessity of hard work and ambition, and to make do with what you have. How did growing up on the heels of the Great Depression and in a frugal household affect you later in life, both personally and in business?
That and the role model of a dad that worked as a house painter and worked from, in the summertime anyway, would work from pretty much from sun up till 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock at nighttime once in a while, affected me enormously and most certainly through today. And it's something that became so much the only way to do things was to just to watch the expenses. And it was so much time and so natural, and it's made just an enormous difference. And I'm so happy to talk, especially to young people, about the necessity to put money aside. Don't spend it. Maybe you can get some great tickets for $200 somewhere when you get to that level, but gosh, if you can stay home and watch it on TV, you get $200 in the bank. And I always look at things that way.
You, as I read the book, I think you had a very close relationship with your dad. And I never met your dad, but it seems sporadically throughout the book. You always stopped, you focused on your dad, and you mentioned one or two things that he always told you. And I got the impression that he knew you were somebody with a lot of talent, and you were going places.
I think he was certainly hoping that might happen and wanted to keep me away from factors that he thought wouldn't be good in that regard, certainly. But mostly more than anything else, is a role model. And I think that we can all benefit by watching other people that when we think are doing things the right way and try to remember and learn from the world around us. And without being told, to look for things ourselves, and that's the great way to learn, is watch people whom you admire.
There are a lot of fascinating stories in the book. And this question relates to one that I thought was really remarkable, because you're only a young guy at the time. Bill, could you please tell us the story of your first business venture while you were still in elementary school, working with the local business and the construction workers in your neighborhood? And most important, tell us what you did with the profits.
Okay. I think you're referring to the story I tell in the book about loading my little red wagon up with a laundry tank and about 25 pounds of ice and a couple of cases of soda that I purchased up from Costa's Variety Store. There's nobody. It'd be hard to see anybody in this light. I don't see anybody that looks like they're as old as I am. Probably not anybody that remembers Joe Costa's store. Some of you probably will remember Town Line Donuts. Town Line Donuts, anybody?
Oh, absolutely.
Right up at the corner of the Fellsway, almost.
Nintendo family.
Okay. It was the Noss family that owned it when I was there.
They're cousins.
Okay. So you would know. The Nosses had Town Line Donuts, and 2 doors down from that was Joe's Variety Store, really. And he would give me the ice for free. He sold me the drinks for full price for a nickel apiece. At that time, they were removing the streetcar tracks from the Fellsway. Used to be in front of my house. I lived in the wooden apartment house that's still up over those stores. The Kids' Pharmacy up to Town Line Donuts. And it's an old wooden apartment house. And my parents had a 1-bedroom apartment there, and it was something like $12 a month, something like that, for me. So it was a high rent district. We had one bedroom. My sister and I shared the bedroom. My parents slept in the living room. And we would all get together in their bed in the living room and listen to the radio after supper at that time. There was no such thing as television, of course. Televisions came along a little later. Whoever had the TV and the first TV in the street was always the most popular family in the street. That's when we got a regular radio. But I made a lot of money in bringing cold sodas from the variety store over to the Fellsway where they were digging up the streetcar tracks. It used to be you could take a streetcar from the car barns, which are still there in a matter of speaking, and you could take a streetcar down Salem Street to Maine and down through South Medford, or you could go down the Fellsway in a streetcar. And they both left from that corner, and they both got to the same place at Sullivan Square and get the elevated train there. But they were within walking distance for working on that road for quite a long time on either side. And during that, it just lasted for a month or two. And I made a lot of nickels. And we'd go back and refill again on hot days. And I had an account at Medford Savings Bank. I still have the little passbook. First deposit was $3 a quarter, I think, or something like that. And I didn't take anything out of it for several years. Maybe I got it up by the time that was in second grade. By the time I was in fourth grade, maybe I had a couple $100 there. So it wasn't very much annual wages. That was the first little business I had.
So I hope you didn't touch it, because if it's still there, all that interest compounding over all those years.
I think it's been moved out of there,
Oh, man.
and it's properly invested somewhere at a higher return, probably.
Good. After cutting grass, shoveling snow, and a number of other businesses you ran yourself, you started your own ice cream business off the back of your bicycle from Medford to the Ford Motor Plant. How did that go for you?
Ford Motor Plant that the mayor is referring to is what's now Assembly Mall, as you older folks will know. I would pick up ice cream down in Mystic Avenue at an ice cream manufacturer down there, load up my bicycle, and I had a big refrigerated box that I carried along behind on the bicycle. And I was still in that same routine, buy it for a nickel and sell it for a dime. And this was in junior high school. I did that for 3 years, and by the time I got to the fourth year, it wasn't fashionable for a high school student to ride a bike anymore. If you got out of junior high, you wouldn't want to be caught on a bike. I ride a bike now all the time. I rode it yesterday morning. I ride it 2 or 3 times a week. But in those days, you didn't continue to ride the bike. But I would pick it up there, and I got myself inside the gate at the Ford Motor Company. Somebody asked me, which I assume is still here, asked me about my friend David Jackson. David Jackson did the same thing for a year, and we did it together. We lived up on Fells Avenue, but that was a great business. I made more money selling ice cream at a dime a piece that I made for several years after that in high school, making 50 cents and eventually 75 cents an hour. And so with that ice cream route, I made a lot of good money. And somehow I don't remember if I ever filled out an income tax form for it. It was a fun little business. And I would get the Sunday Cup. We sold Sunday Cups, chocolate covers, and ice cream sandwiches. And I had a little rubber stamp, and I would stamp the wooden spoons with the Sunday Cups and said, Bill Cummings ice cream on it. So I was really a business by that time.
Now, I think it was when you went into high school, you had a couple of jobs in the Ruderman's Furniture.
I worked at Ruderman's Furniture for Mr. Gilman there, and then I used to go over to Brigham's, and I would invest some of that money from Medford Savings Bank, and I'd go over to uninvested, I should say. I'd go over to Brigham's and went there often enough that the manager there said, why don't I come work for him instead? I think I went from 65 cents an hour to 75 cents an hour. And big thing about working in Brigham's. Brigham's is where Colleen's, I think it's still Colleen's on the corner of Governor's Ave.
Yes, sir.
So that was a Brigham's. Before that, it was a Russo's Candy and Ice Cream. I think Russo's is still up in Jerry Jingle in Melrose. They moved up onto the big highway eventually and closed up in Medford, and Brigham's took it over. But that was a very interesting experience, and the thing that I liked most about it at the time, the thing that I'll tell all of you folks, especially some of the students in the audience, you can get a job where you're interacting with the public, face to face. All they want is, you may say, I want two large and a small. It doesn't matter. Some of them are going to have a lot more to say to you, and the more interaction you young people, children and grandchildren and some of the other people here, the more interaction young people can have meeting the public. You get to be a mayor. Whoever heard of a mayor that couldn't meet people easily, and a guy like this, I mean, I think he knows 90% of the people that are going to walk toward him. So
I hung around Brigham's for a long time.
okay, but at least he probably knows he's got a great memory as well as being pretty. But to have that opportunity to do anything you can, talk to people, interact, share your knowledge, learn from other people. The other thing, of course, there is listen. How many of you heard that? Why do you have to listen more than talk? Because you got one mouth and two ears. Okay, it's a reason. Listen. We listen. We learn when we listen. I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
No, you're doing very well. And I didn't know about Russo, so I didn't know that was this. So I'm still learning.
Okay.
You said you knew as early as your junior year in high school that you wanted to start your own business someday. What would you say to the students who are here this evening about the best way to pursue their dreams, either as an entrepreneur or in some other profession?
I think the best way to start is to do it. Find something that you find some way to start a small part-time business, whether students or adults or anybody else. If you're interested in starting a business, it's very difficult to give up a salary and start paying insurance, health insurance, and so forth, and just say, I'm quitting, I'm out of here, I'm all done, I want to be in business myself. You can start a business on a part-time basis. Start working out of your home. Do it until the zoning inspector comes along and says, you can't do it anymore. Okay? Stay out of sight. Most of the time, people in positions of authority like that are not going to bother you unless you cause a problem. You do something quietly, and you're not like illegal under zoning. Just get out there and start working. Find ways to get people to know, talk to your friends. You get friends, most of your friends will have friends and they'll have friends. Talk up your business. Get some business cards made. So many businesses that can be started. Now, we've got at Cummings Properties today, I think we have 3 different organizations in 3 different towns that do dog walking. Dog walking, and they charge such good income, and they get. I'm not going to tell you the numbers. It's frightening sometimes. Really, it's like the veterinarians. They can charge so much. But if it's dependable, it's an easy thing, and it's an example of something that's as simple as that can be grown into a real business with employees or overnight caring for dogs. I don't know what the zoning would say about that one. You can sneak a couple in probably anyway. But
We're not listening to any of this. That's how politicians get in trouble.
He says that you can't hear. But just something like boarding a dog, there's places online that you sign up and establish how much you'll take a dog for. Most of them get about, the people who do that get about $30 a night or something for taking care of a dog on vacation. People on vacation. So you board the dog. And you can board one dog for $30, you can board two dogs, you get $60. Get more than that, you might have a little problem. You might think you're doing too much. If you get a dog that's going to bark, bother your neighbors, you got a problem. Maybe you don't have a problem. Maybe you can do it. I don't know. But again, an example of how to start a business. Simple and easy. And it's dependability. And what happens there is that the company that does it, I can't give you any names. There's two of them, I believe. But they will do everything. And they pay off in, I'm trying to say, PayPal. Pay what?
Oh, PayPal.
PayPal, yeah, okay. So they give you credit on PayPal, that's how you get your money. And they take out the expenses in it, you know just what you're going to get. Sometimes these people get a tip or something as well. Or they get a present that they bring them a sweater from Scotland or something when they come back, as long as Fido is in good shape, and they start telling their friends. It grows very easily. But again, how do you do something? Start it off. So many different things. Some of you might be good with like to tear engines apart. So start doing car repairs. Not repairs, I shouldn't say that, but car cleaning, digging. Really, doing inside car detailing cars. So many things that can happen and that help people to start into business and entrepreneurship. I didn't know, I had no idea in junior high school. That was not a word that anybody in junior high school, I don't think, ever heard of when I sat in those seats. I learned the word in a French class, though, when I got to Tufts. I learned the word entrepreneurship. As soon as I had that word, I said, boy, that's me. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I got a name for it. And I told somebody, I said, what do you mean? So, and then they figured it out pretty soon. Then, not because of me, but it got to be a very popular word. And that was back from probably 1956. The word's come a long way too, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. This next story, I'm going to read this question to you in a minute, but this next story, I hope you go into a little more detail about what I'm asking about, and then talk a little about the business. Because this was...
You're talking about Old Medford now?
Don't know my question. Yes. I viewed the purchase of Old Medford Punch as a significant test of your negotiating skills and a great opportunity for you to define yourself as a business leader in our local community. Can you explain how it went when you sat down with Mr. Farnsworth, the original owner of the company, to discuss the sale of what he considered his business to be a six-figure business?
I had left work, contrary to what I suggested you all do. I left my job at Gordon's in Gloucester, and I had enough saved that I could do what I wanted to do pretty comfortably at that time. I left that company because I loved it. I loved the company. The people there were great. But I had an opportunity. There was a job opening, and I thought more of myself than they did. And they told me afterwards that they would give me the advancement job, except for my age. They told me I would be happy to have you there, but we couldn't. You're just too young. And that's fine. They were honest about it. And decided I needed, that was the time. That was the signal I needed. That I'd always wanted to be in business myself. So I said, okay, I'm going to leave now. I went over to Howard Johnson's that afternoon. I didn't go to a bar. I went over to Howard Johnson's and went to the ice cream counter and I bought a pint of kind of Howard Johnson's ice cream, going back to my Brigham's days. And I sat out in the parking lot at the end of a winter day. Sat out there and I soothed my nerves with a pint of ice cream. I got back, I called my parents and they were in Medford and told them I was moving back home for a while. But I had just made reservations on the Queen Mary. I took off on the Queen Mary. And 5 days later, I got last minute rate on the Queen Mary. And I went to Europe. And I took a 4-month trip all over Europe. It's a long time getting to your short question. That's right. It wasn't just starting a new business. And before I went, my dad said, I know of a business that you want to look at. It's for sale. And I said, good. I believe in acting right now and not avoiding anything. I'm not putting something off, but I'm not going to look at it now. I'll have to look at it when I get home. And if they want to sell it now, they'll want to sell it more when I get home. Somebody will either gobble it up before I get there, or they'll be more anxious to buy it. So I went away for 4 months, bumped around Europe. It was only a rail pass. Had a marvelous time all by myself. And I came back and I said, Dad, what about that business? He said, well, it's still there. Dad was a house painter, and this was a house painting customer. And the customer was, my dad used to talk about it. He also used to brag about his son a lot. And I'd get annoyed with him. And his reaction was, Bill, you can't blow your own horn, but I can. I always remember that, as you can tell. So if your parents brag about you a lot, remember that. They can do it. They can get away with it, but people don't want to hear us bragging about ourselves. You know, that doesn't work too well. Maybe some of the other kinds of politicians, maybe, they get away with it. There's one in Washington now that, but I got to see this business. This is at 54 Fulton Street in Medford. 54 Fulton Street was halfway down from Salem to the Fells Way, before you get to Tainter Street, for people in that neighborhood. The left-hand side of the street, you should go toward the Fells Way.
It was right around the Puzos and the DeSimones.
Okay?
Right across the street.
The neighbors weren't my best friends down there. They didn't like the fact that this business was coming back to life in the front yard. So if they didn't know me, I didn't have to know them. That was the best way we could live. And eventually, we got to the point we would do very, very well. But you want to know about the purchase?
Negotiations.
Down, this all happened in one day once we got there. One morning, I went down late morning with my dad, showed me where the business was. We had one part-time employee. His name was Frank Wheeler, W-H-E-A-R. Frank had been there for 40-something years. He lived around the corner. I've forgotten what the name of the street is. It goes off to the north. Tainter Street went off to the right, but I think it was a different street.
Webster.
Webster, okay. He lived on Webster Street. He's within 2 short blocks. Been there forever. Only employee. He worked part-time 1 afternoon a week. They had about 20 customers. The total sales of this business the business had been there for 70 years. The total sales, though, were down to less than $11,000, more than $10,000. And he told me the business should be worth at least 6 figures. But if you wanted, you'd sell it to me for $40,000. And I know you don't have much. That's what he sold. This is a nice guy. He was a down east Yankee. Most of the time, in the summertime, he grew blueberries up in Washington County, Maine. And big, tall guy. So he was all of 6'5", 6'6". I was 6 feet at the time. I looked way up at him. Plus, he wore a big tan cowboy hat all the time. Red plaid shirt, just like a red plaid shirt, big cowboy hat. You got President Roosevelt's hat, I know, black derby. Was it Roosevelt?
It was Truman's. I gave it to
Truman.
the Historical Society before we start any rumors here.
Okay. So anyway, we we talked some more, and I decided I wanted to buy the business, but it really wasn't going to provide much of a living, was it? And I convinced him that if I could look forward to owning that business and making about 15 cents an hour, that was a big drop from where I was already in my most recent pay in Winchester, in Medford. That was a big drop from 75 cents down to 15 to get back in Medford. And I offered him $4,000, and eventually he took it. He came back one more time and said, Bill, you got to give me a couple of $1,000s for goodwill. And I tell this story in the book. So I said, his name was Llewellyn, Llewellyn. That's how I learned how to spell Llewellyn Farnsworth. And I called him Mr. Farnsworth. Mr. Farnsworth, you can have my goodwill for nothing, but I can't pay you for yours. So that's all we can do. So we decided that was okay. We bought the business for $4,000. That paid for the glass bottles, the inventory, and the sugar he had in the warehouse. The warehouse was not a heck of a lot bigger than this stage, only 2 stories. And really, it was something like that. It looked like it was a nice little building in behind the houses. And we bought it, did very well. Started off, what we did was we sold fruit punch. There were actually more than a couple of handful of customers. 2 of those accounts were Harvard University and MIT. And they had been using Old Medford fruit punch for decades. They used it for faculty events. They used it for collations with Disney groups, whatever. I wanted them to put it out in the college dining hall. Well, they couldn't picture a glass fruit punch bowl in a college dining hall with 1,000 kids running around. It would be a little impossible. So we found some electrically refrigerated dispensers. I provided them a dispenser. They put it out in the dining hall, the stuff disappeared. They loved it. With that, we went on and ended up putting Old Medford foods in about 370 colleges, virtually every college here in Boston, altogether 370. And did, at some point, decided that had been great. It's time to go on to something else. I discovered the real estate business by working part-time at that, as we talked about before, and gradually deciding it was time to sell the business. Did sell it for just the equivalent of really about $2 million in today's dollars. That's what we got for it. And it went on for a long time. They still be going on. They moved it eventually out to Michigan. Another company bought it. That was the story of Old Medford.
It's a great story.
The last days of Old Medford in Medford.
Yeah, my only disappointment was I didn't know about it. I was reading the book at home. I was walking out the front door. My wife said, "Where are you going?" And he said there was a warehouse in the back of 54. I don't remember because we played down there. I've got to go see this. So she said, "You don't have to. You had nothing to do with it. You may just not remember it." And I said, "No, I would know from that neighborhood." She said, "Michael, you were 10. It's not your fault. You don't have to go down." But I took a walk down anyways. And I think I told you, as I walked into the driveway, there were 2 guys coming out. And I said, "Oh man, here I am walking in the backyard." And I looked up, I said, "Is this 48? They said, "No, it says 54. I said, "I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong yard." Now, as I read your book, it became clear to me that the workforce that you hired were more like family to you than co-workers. On more than one occasion, you stressed the importance of hiring a person based on attitude and personality, not just a resume. Can you explain why?
I don't think that most of us, whether we've gone to college or haven't gone to college, I don't think that most of us bring particular experiences from most jobs that are going to show up on a resume. Most people can be adaptable to so many different types of jobs. And I'm not talking about professional jobs. I think if somebody's a physician, he's probably not going to become a dentist, or if she's a surgeon, probably not going to become a cosmetologist. But in jobs that are trades, most people who can be a painter, they're smart, can do a good job painting, and they can learn mechanics, and they can do mechanics, or they can take some training from the electricians. They can be all-around people. By the way, Cummings Properties hires several hundred mechanics of all types, and the people who are most valued with our firm are people who can do lots of different things. We don't care. Most of the time, we're not looking for a college degree or any college. We've got our general superintendent who directs all several hundred of our staff is a licensed plumber, and he's got 300 people under his direct supervision. He happens to include many people who have degrees, but that doesn't matter. I mean, it's his job. He's happens to be a master plumber, but graduate of Woburn High. And I don't think the resume doesn't begin to tell you, though, all you need to know, or even most of what you need to know about something. But in a small company where people aren't just filling specific slots, people are working there who really fit into a family, an excellent family. People who do well with us are the people who they stay a long time because they like the people they're working with. They're a great organization. They all care about each other. And so much more important that we need somebody that they present themselves as friendly and alert, interested and willing to do what needs to be done. And if you present that way in a job interview, properly dressed, I don't mean that you put a suit on anymore. If you're going to do multiple interviews, it's nice to show up with a suit on someday. I started off, I was telling the mayor, I started off this morning doing a talk up in Westford Community Church. Had a group of this size, and I had a coat and tie, and I looked the part of a business executive. But as the day went on, and I stayed an hour there signing books, and it was much warmer there with the air conditioning than it is in this hall right now. This is quite comfortable. But I looked like a schmooze in my own mind at the end of the day, and had a chance to go change my clothes. So no tie now. But as far as job hunting, good idea sometimes. It was the kind of a job that you should wear a tie to go to it. And if it's not, it doesn't matter. Wear some, put your best jeans on, not your worst ones. Look like you care about your appearance. That can be so. If there's somebody that really wants a job, better still, you want a place where you can have a long-term career. Not just looking for a job. Keep that in mind too. And if you are intent as I was on wanting to have your own business someday, that's probably not what you want to advertise as personal hiring. You get you trained and you get good, and then you're going to be gone. So you don't necessarily have to brag about that if you think you're going to get going.
I know that partnerships involved in development opportunities with Cummings were a non-starter. But one lifetime partnership, it seems to me, is the reason for all of your success. And of course, that is the marriage to your lovely wife Joyce for over 50 years now. Could you give us your thoughts on the importance of your partnership with her over the years on this long journey you've had together?
Absolutely vital. I knew that I was going to be, when we were married in '66, that I very much wanted to have a business. I knew that I was going to be dedicated to that business. She needed to know if we were going to get married that probably wasn't going to change. And we were looking forward to having kids. She almost scared me away. She said, well, I have 6 kids, all boys. And what she was going to do, she got such 6 kids that weren't all boys. But instead we had 2 and 2. And Joyce had to be, she was the dominant parent, just because of the hours that I put in. And I worked really hard in the business, didn't want at home. And that was that period of time. But at the same time, there were times that were family time. And family time was family time. And you have to set a balance. You absolutely got to have a balance in life. And you can do it if you are depending on creating a business. It probably isn't going to be an 8 to 5 job. If it is, you're going to have a hard time finding other people who are going to want to work harder. You get out there and work with your team, you get employees, and the owner is willing to work with the staff, closely with the staff, pick up the papers in my case, sweep the sidewalk, and shovel the snow right along with everybody else when I was young and able to do that easily. It's great exercise. And treat people the way you'd want to be treated. That's the important thing. You're going to have employees. Treat them the right way. And if you happen to be in a job that is something you really don't like, still do the very best you can with that job. You're going to learn while you're there. Try to impress people that you're there and they've got your full attention and you care and you give a damn and you want to do the job the right way. And you might just find that people may treat you a whole lot differently and maybe you'll want to stay there. But that's an important part. But having the family situation, however it might be, some people don't want to be in a family relationship. But if you do, remember it's a family thing. Everybody's voice is just as important. And that was the secret to our relationship for a long time.
And all these years later, any of the foundation events that are held up at the Rubin properties, Joyce is always out front with a big smile, greeting everybody, and still gets it.
Very much so. Yeah. She was never active in the business, but we were doing the foundation day together. We're going to get through talking here in a couple of minutes. And when we do, there'll be plenty of time for, I guess, for questions, if you want to ask some questions. So,
do we know what time it is? How long have we been going?
Oh, no, we're not too, I don't know, it's 8 o'clock.
It's what?
8 o'clock?
We're only in a half hour.
Okay, well.
Where's Ken? Okay.
Well, what I'm saying, I just want them to be ready with questions when we get done. If you got a question, be ready to shoot it out. We'll be happy to deal with it.
All right, so I'm going to cut this down to the last 2 questions. The Cummings Foundation and the Giving Pledge have been transformative for many individuals, groups, and nonprofits. How did you and Joyce develop the idea of the foundation? And what factors in the decision-making process brought you together with Bill and Melinda Gates, as well as Warren Buffett?
First question, first. I think we founded the Cummings Foundation because it was clear there was going to be enough capital, enough of an endowment that the foundation can go on for a long time. Some people will have ideas of being philanthropic and they'll want to do things to help other people and they'll try to figure out how much they need and they'll give away the rest to do it in their lifetimes. We wanted to put it into the foundation and then continue to grow it. So we're gone. All the ownership of the company goes right to the foundation. You might wonder what our kids think about that. Our kids are completely good with it. We had given them some early stock way back when. It did far better than we ever imagined it would, and they gave, all of them gave back large quantities of money to the foundation. So that wasn't a factor. I'm answering that question because everybody wants to know that when you kids they're totally supportive. But the only way the foundation was going to, and the only way the philanthropy was going to continue would have been if we could set it up as a long-term foundation. We talked about sunsetting a foundation. We didn't have any sunsetting clause because of the stock gains. That was in 1986. The Giving Pledge didn't come along until about 8 years ago. We were invited to join the Giving Pledge, which is an organization set up by Bill Cummings and by Warren Buffett, one of the most affluent people that they could find or that they knew of. And they had heard about us and asked us to join. We did that. First time we went to a meeting, knowing that we were pretty well off when we got there. We went to the first meeting 8 years ago, and the members of the Giving Pledge. Two things happened. First of all, we arrived at the meeting and flew to Phoenix and went to a resort called down near Tucson. We flew to Phoenix when I jet blue card and got a budget rent-a-car to go down from there down to whatever the town was where this resort was. Got to the door, guest reception area, and got a very nice welcome. Oh, by the way, Mr. Cummings, can we have your tail number, please? Tail number. Okay. So they had a private airport there. Most of the guests come into that particular place with their private planes. They want to know you by your tail. That was it. Then we get inside, and we were there. The first room we came to was sort of a senior group, the more affluent people, and we knew every one of them by name and reputation. And these are people that you read the whole print on that had. Because they have $1 billion in this group, and we gave it to the foundation, we already given it away, but we still counted. But we're with people that have got 60 million and 80 million, excuse me, 80 billion and $60 billion in their foundations or otherwise. And looked around, and it was the first time in a long time we had been the poorest people in the room. There we were. That was our experience, first experience. I will tell you that the people I just mentioned by name are terrific people. Warren Buffett lives in the same house that I think he was born in, when he first lived after he was born in Omaha. And is a gentle, pleasant, quiet, unassuming, just a real decent guy. He decided that he couldn't deal nearly as well trying to make money and give it away at the same time. So he went out and gave something like $69 billion to Bill and Melinda Gates and said, here, put this into your foundation and do good things with it. We'll talk about it once in a while. The money might as well all be in one place and we'll do it together, but you run it. That's how that worked out. I was with a colleague earlier today, a colleague specifically, and I just can't see anywhere beyond the first. Oh, there she is. You're the first row. I looked right over. I did not see you there. This is Farrah Stark. Would you stand up, Sarah? Farrah? Just a second. Farrah is a Boston resident. She's now with the New York Times. And she's here to learn about Medford. And we went for breakfast this morning. We had lunch together. She decided she wanted to get home to Cambridge and have dinner with her family there. But then she's back over here again. And she's doing a story. And Stephanie, I told you I was hoping you would meet Farrah. Could you come over and maybe, Steph, can I get you to come over and say hello? Okay, she's right down in the front with the white top. No, the mayor of the city of Medford needs contacts. And these reporters need contacts. They need honest sources they know. So I just wanted to make sure you can cite each other and say hello before you get out, if you have time to stay a little longer. Thank you so much, Darrell, for coming back tonight. I hope I got the same story out this morning to now as I got this morning. You wanted to check our sources here. Mr. Mayor.
Where were you for the last 28 years when I needed help with that? They were killing me. All right, this is my question. This is the last question.
Okay.
Bill, I was curious to know about the other Bill Cummings. A man who drove up a bumpy road 8,000 feet directly straight up into the mountains to meet a 700-pound gorilla, who in your words wasn't very happy to meet you. Then proceeded to Australia to bungee jump off a 150-foot bridge, and finally swam on the edge of a waterfall at Victoria Falls on the border of Zimbabwe with a 1,000-foot drop. Who is the other Bill Cummings?
He's the one, if you were thinking of investing in his company, you wouldn't want him for a partner.
That's why no partners.
That's why no partner, just us. So this has been a treat to be here.
Two microphones in the front of the auditorium. Don't be shy. If you have a question for Mr. Cummings, please step forward and ask away. Come on, who wants to ask the first one? That's always the hard one.
All right, let's go to the second question.
All right, somebody's moving on. Here we go.
Hi.
I'm Jenny from the CCSR. I know that a while back you and, along with other philanthropists, gave away half of your money for the Giving Pledge. And I just wanted to know what inspired you most to do that and how hard was it?
Well, it wasn't hard at all because we had previously determined that we wanted to give all of our funds away. There's one family, man's name is Chuck Feeney, who some of you would know, or you would know of his business. His business was the duty-free shops at the airports. He had all the duty-free shops. He wrote a great book too, by the way. I think it's called Feeney. But what he did, he also wanted to give it all away before he died, and we wanted to still have control of it. What he did, he promised that he was going to try to make his last check bounce. He wanted to give it all away and make his last check bounce. That was a little difficult to plan because there's other forces planning our lives. So most of the time we don't know how much time we've got left. So that was why we decided to keep it going on Sunset. That wasn't difficult at all. At some point, I was very much aware, became very much aware. We bought a convent in Marlborough. It used to be a girls' school, and the nuns who ran it were still there. And we bought it while they were there, and we agreed to house them as long as they wanted to stay there. Eventually, they left this year. Those who were left. And I marveled that they were so comfortable about turning over their property to us. After working on it so hard to have it built, and they were there, it was home for them, and school, thousands of kids. It was a school for young women. And how did they feel about it? And I adapted this notion from them and their approaches. How can we never think of ourselves in the short time that we're going to be on Earth? How can we think of ourselves as really owning anything? We own our own spirit, our own soul, however you might think about it. How can we think of ourselves as just owning land. We were very, that fit, that wasn't exactly what they said, but it got me thinking along those lines. And it's how we, to a large extent, came to realize that if money's not doing us any good, it's so much more fun and rewarding to be doing good things with it. We were delighted to be able to benefit from things right here in Medford, in my hometown, or what I think of as more of Somerville, but I think of Medford certainly is my hometown. If anybody asks me, it's Medford. But
We've taken care of the records.
thank you. and so that was an important part. It was easy on me. Thank you. Put a mic over here. We need to get a line going. Hi.
In starting or maintaining a business, is there any things, any advice you think people should avoid?
Did you hear that better than I did?
He said, are there any things that you should avoid in starting a business, when starting a business?
He's got better hearing than I do. What's to avoid? Avoid making enemies. Avoid working with people, partnerships that you don't know what the other person is going to bring to the business. Very, very difficult to start any business with a business partner. It's extremely difficult. That would be the big thing that I would coach a young person, especially when you don't have the experience of probably of evaluating opportunities that might come along like that. It's very hard to find two people who have the same work ethic, and the brains of the thing might make a difference too. Who's got the smarts? Each person's got to bring something to the business. It's very, very difficult that way. So avoid spending money. Do as much as you can.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess we talked ourselves out of the job there, Mr. Mayor.
You did a good job.
Thank you. Thank all of you for coming tonight. Oh, okay. Right.
Thanks for coming, Bill. I'm just curious about your impression of the economy right now. Sort of, we've heard a lot about the past, but what about the future? What do you think? How is Massachusetts doing, and how do you think we're going to be going forward with our economy?
I don't want to appear to be a prophet of any sort, but I point out that the economy does go up and down, and it hasn't gone down for quite a long time now. So it's most people expect that it will. At the same time, if they were expecting it 3 years ago as well, and it goes up and down. So hopefully it won't be as bad as the last time it went down. It was dramatic. It's probably going to slow down, but it hasn't slowed down yet. There's no signs of it that I'm aware of where there's any marked changes in the economy. It goes for a little longer. We've got lease buildings, lease commercial space and buildings, and we're always anxious to do that. And I remind anybody here that's interested in leasing space that every penny we take in, every dollar of profit that the company or the foundation make goes to the work of the foundation and allows us to do the work that we do. So that's, you know, somebody that's leasing space, you work for a company that might want something yourself. Maybe you want it in 20 years, they will still be here. I hope I'm still here. It's getting slimmer and slimmer though. But I think there's a whole series of reward bonuses that we will pay people if they are able to not-for-profit groups and substantial awards that we will pay on your behalf. We're not brokers, so we can't pay a commission, but we can do things for your not-for-profit. And we do that routinely. And it's, the not-for-profits here have taken advantage of that yet, but there's some 2,000 spaces that we have to lease, and the community helps us to lease them out. Down this side, good. Hi.
Mr. Cummings, Andrew Castanetti, nice to meet you in person. I've seen your properties all around. My CPA used to be in Beverly, Cummings properties here and there. It's interesting, I didn't realize you were such a local person, and I believe you reside in Winchester now. I read in the Method Not transcript that your foundation has donated $100,000 to the city for the bike path that's missing a half mile behind the Salt buildings, behind the Senior Citizen Center. And I want to thank you very much so we can get that missing link hopefully done within the year. Thank you very much.
It's nice to have an opportunity to meet so many people who have come over this evening representing different groups that we've been able to benefit over the years. Thank you.
Also, you mentioned you were on the Fellsway pushing sodas.
Yep.
Maybe it's before your time, or after, maybe you were only 2 years old. Do you recollect those big giant oak trees in the center of the Fellsway prior to the storm of 1938?
Not prior to the storm of 38. Were you?
No, you were only 2 years old, bro.
I was born in 37, so I don't remember too much back there, but it changed a lot when they took the streetcar tracks out of there.
As long as we're talking about that, I just want to go through a little list.
I also don't have a question, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking your time to come back to the Medford community and giving us this wonderful opportunity to learn more about you. I'm with the CCSR, and I know we have a grant right now from your foundation, and I know that the money has gone towards so many wonderful projects, including my own. So I would like to thank you so much for letting us have that opportunity.
Thank you.
The idea is so good that you want to award them for.
Yeah, why did you want to award money to the CSSR program at Medford High School?
Well, the first thing would be that they made a very good professional reach out to the foundation and worked at putting together the request in such a way that it made a compelling case. All of the awards that we give out, almost all of them, are done with volunteer workers in the community who act as the judges as to where the money should go. And this works out extremely well. There's probably 80. And I think that the mayor is pretty familiar with that process and has seen it work. But we get 500 or 600 applications every summer. And there's this many. One group of volunteers looks at it the first time and trims it to this many. Another group of volunteers comes in and brings it down to this many. And finally, there's somebody picks the last 100. So they all work together at different levels. And it's the approach. There's a website. The website is cummingsfoundation.org. And that has all of the rationale for what we're doing and how we try to distribute the awards. The final decisions then are made by people in the community. And we're getting close to 1,000 organizations now that have received an award of $100,000 each in Massachusetts. And on that 1,000 different organizations, I will tell you that I'm sure there aren't 100 of them that anybody in our company or the foundation ever heard of before. Anybody. And certainly there aren't 50 that my wife Joyce and I ever heard of before. Because we're trying to reach out to the small organizations and many of them find that once they receive a grant from Cummings Foundation, that other grants come much more easily after that. They're in the process of having an ongoing funding on a regular basis, just because the world around us seems to have recognized that we're doing a pretty good job of finding organizations that are producing the most with the funds they get. So it's so enjoyable for us as the people who built the endowment to have a reason for that, not just to put a lot of money in and get it in a pile and do what with it. Have the opportunity to help at least put the organization together. We don't, my wife and I don't get involved in any of them locally because we just don't have time. But to see this, put the system together and talk to volunteers and recruit people who want to do it. And our volunteers are people from all over the community, and certainly to include a number of local mayors, college presidents, retired firefighters, retired people from our own work staff, organization, and people in all kinds of trades and professions. And again, about 80 of them, they usually will work 3 years, and that's how it all happens. So it's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tia Bala. I'm also from the CJSR, and I'd like to start by saying thank you for the grant and giving us the opportunity to do all these projects that we do. I was really fascinated by your story of coming from like starting with your business with the sodas to what you're doing now. And I guess my question basically is, what inspired you to start your business at such a young age, and what motivated you to continue to grow larger and larger in your business growth?
What inspired me? That's a very good question. I don't think I can answer it. I was moved to want to please my parents. That was a big factor. I wanted my parents to be proud of me. Sounds kind of kooky maybe, but that's probably what it was. And they had done so much for me. And they taught us philanthropy. And Joyce, my wife Joyce's parents, very much the same thing. So it's nice, it's so nice to be able to do it. And I think that we all want to do good in the world. We don't all get a chance in very many ways. There's all kinds of philanthropy. And the philanthropy that's the most common is what is often called philanthropy that is, well, it's really philanthropy from people who have to give up something else. It's sometimes referred to as sacrificial philanthropy. People want to do something to help an organization, and they do it, but maybe we talked about that $200 tickets before. They say, well, if I don't take these tickets and go in to see Hamilton or something and pay a ridiculous amount of money, I can give it to this program or that program or some organization that's going to do more with it and to do them more good than to do me to have a 2-hour show. And that's the bedrock of American way of doing things, I think, is all the things that people who are working in churches and schools and their communities, giving it their time and their effort. And that is trying to help people and tutor people and coach them, and all the things you see with the Little League and the Scouts, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, and all the different organizations that are teaching people the arts and the skills that they need to work together. And that's the bedrock American philanthropy. There's some people who have been maybe a little more fortunate. We certainly got a shining example, another shining example right here in Medford, and Mayor Bloomberg, and all that he's done. He was a couple of years behind me at Lincoln High, and he and his organization do far more than we can do. And he's been just enormously that comes from, just, a whole lot of it comes from growing up in Medford. So, can I answer it? Keeping you people late, it's okay with me, but I've got nobody at home. My wife's in Alabama. I'm happy to stay. I'm not going to, I'll speak for the mayor. I know he's happy to stay at home. But if you have places to go, I think this was billed to be over now.
Well,
and if you have places to go, please feel free to, you won't insult anybody. Yes, sir.
I'll make my question as short as possible. We're delighted to have you here this evening, Mr. Cummings. And as someone who has been involved at the local level with a number of nonprofit organizations here in Medford, and having founded 3 of those, I just want you to know how important the Cummings Foundation has been for us and for the other cities and towns in this county that your foundation has supported, because there are very few sources of revenue that these local artists or whatever mission a nonprofit organization has. And the large foundations, such as the Boston Foundation and others, they concentrate on major multi-type of programs. So aside from the Medford Arts Council that many of our people rely on, your foundation is extremely important, and I just want to thank you for the foresight that you had to create it in the way that you did, because otherwise many of these groups would not be able to have sustainability. So I want to thank you very, very much for that, and wish you good luck in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Cummings, on behalf of the entire Medford community, thank you for being here. Bill is doing 26 of these talks this month alone. So it speaks to the popularity of the book, which also was its initial printing of 1,000, and now it is 20,000, I believe.
We didn't have very high expectations starting out. We printed 1,000, then we got 2,000, and 3,000, and 5,000, and we just ordered 10,000 more.
Not surprisingly, all the proceeds from the book go to charity, go back to the Cummings Foundation. So Mr. Cummings will be in the lobby to sign copies of the book. We have some for sale for $15 in the lobby. If you would like one, still need one. And thank you again for your attendance, and thank you, Bill, for all you've done for Medford.